Jai Mother. Charanam Sharanam Ramambige. Charanam Sharanam Trayambage. Be always conscious of the fact that your Divine Mother's arms are around you. Surrender completely, not in timidity and doubt, but in courage and consciousness of your higher self. Divine Mother. It was on the second visit to Tellicherry in July 1949 that we were privileged to have a long stay. And this visit happened in a most singular way. We were at Trichur and early one morning my husband had an extraordinary experience. Again and again in the night, the luminous form of Mother, clear and radiant, appeared before him, and the intuitional awareness came to him that it was a call for us to go to Tellicherry immediately. At that time, there was no intention of going there, but we responded to the divine call and left for Tellicherry early in the morning. On reaching there, we found Mother was awaiting us, her eyes lustrous with unutterable love and grace, that we had hastened to obey her silent call. To obey the God given command is not easy. There should be intense prayer so that no obstacle should intervene. To obey the Supreme Guru is to become the recipient of saving grace. There was a special bhajan that day which all there wished us to attend. Unknown to all, in silence, Mother drew us there as a magnet. Here it is relevant to relate a great experience of my husband, if only to recount Mother's divine and inscrutable ways. A few days before this visit to Mother's abode, my husband was at Trivandrum. Even in the midst of his worldly duties, his sadhana was progressing with unabated zeal. With long meditations and devoted disciplines of worship, often Mother was lifting him to spiritually charged areas of consciousness. One evening, an unusual yearning to see the Mother of his worship rose in him, but he plunged into meditation with the heart of a forlorn child craving a great vision of Mother. Deep in that meditative absorption, he perceived clearly the figure of Divine Mother Rama Devi approaching nearer and nearer, smiling graciously. So effulgent and pulsating was the form, and so powerful was the vibration of her presence, that he sat, unable to move, his hand and feet rigid as a stone. Mother placed her hand on his head in blessing and lovingly ruffled his combed hair. There was the blissful, vibrant consciousness of Mother in an inner harmonious oneness. Then, in that luminous effulgence, the form changed, and it was the celestial beauty of Goddess Durga, with divine ornamentations and arms wielding the diverse celestial emblems that he saw. The face was of Divine Mother Rama Devi, but the whole form was molded in golden light and exquisite beauty. He could not bear the impact of that divine darshan, and heavenly fragrance emanated from the form, and in a few seconds the divine figure disappeared in the glowing light. It was a long time before my husband could either move or get up. He began to shiver and sweat profusely. Later, still filled with the dynamic awareness of the vision, he slowly gained his self-control and was stunned when he saw that his hair, which he had combed neatly after bath, stood up all ruffled. From that great revelation, the majesty of Mother's godhood, the divine plan behind the great Avirbhava, and her almighty dispensation that was beginning to meet the need of the age, all these facts became clear and perceptible to his mind. It was after this great experience that our second visit to Tellicherry took place in answer to Mother's silent call. After our arrival, when we bowed at her feet in profound love, Mother directed a meaningful look at my husband and said, "You, who are so brave and courageous, why were you so shaken when you received the blessing of Varadahasta from the Mother? Do not have any doubts. It was real, granted as a reward for your diligent sadhana." At first, he could not understand the real significance of Mother's utterance. Remembrance came of the great blessing he had received while at Trivandrum. His whole being suffused with wonder and gratitude, he lay prostrate at the lotus feet. For us, the Mother's silent call to come to Tellicherry had its own great purpose. It was for us to come, to live, and to learn the living reality of Mother's teaching from a direct observation of that immaculate life. Those days were a reign of mercy. The celestial vision of the embodied splendor of love lifted our minds to closer communion. The divine compassion transcended all laws of nature, for she lifted us in those enchanting days, enabling us to perceive her inner resplendence even in the most commonplace duty. It was an educative experience. We can imbibe the precept only when we actually study a dynamic example. The great opportunity came too to have intimate contact with Shri Bhagawan. The wedded life of Mother and Bhagawan was symbolic of the greatest concept of Grihasthashrama, of the principle of Shiva Shakti unity. That life was one of lofty purity, consecration to God, and the observance of Brahmacharya. Mother has said, in a situation of intricate problems and stupendous challenges, divinely arranged, Mother has raised a home of many faceted spiritual radiance and has thereby chalked out a path to God experience even for you householders. With the constant contact of Divine Mother, the whole personality of Bhagavan underwent a miraculous transformation. Highly intellectual and erudite, Bhagavan was a man of the world with some human frailties, hot-tempered and adamant in having his own way of life. But by the time we came to know him, he had become a sagely personality with unutterable kindness, consideration, and love for all. His very gaze was a benediction. When Bhagavan realized Mother's divinity and the nature of the divine mission she had to fulfill, he dedicated his whole life, his wealth, and possessions to promote the divine cause. The holy abode became a temple for pilgrimage, and throughout the year, devotees started arriving and staying there for a few days. Side by side with Mother, Bhagavan also served them all with love, care, and comfort. He was always in close communion with Mother in his heart, and with the silent japa of her name and absolute reliance on her, he attained the great consummation of life. I quote here a few of his choice words indicating the nature of his total faith and supreme devotion. She came to me as my wife, but revealed to me that she is my eternal mother. I seek nothing, for what has the child to know when it has discovered its divine mother? She raised me to the state of effortless poise, where mind and will have no place. I talk, yet I know it is she who is talking. I am silent, yet I know it is she who is silent. To be one with Mother and yet to remain as her child, this indeed is the secret of yoga. Four things came to me unsolicited: the voice, the vision, the touch, and the inner contact of the divine. This is the inexplicable mercy of the Universal Mother. Ekant was a great devotee, and so God Himself served him for 12 years in disguise. But my Divine Mother came to me, not by the power of my devotion, but by her own will and for her own plan. Is this not the inscrutable Leela and mercy of the Supreme? Verily, I am her child, and I have no need to know anything. She plays in her own way. My eyes her smile. He who sees the smile and not the one who smiles is bound. He who sees Mother behind the smile is free. This is the truth I have learned in my life. Bhagawan was a penance hidden from everyone, but he lived in Mother alone, and he became immortalized and shines today as the greatest example for all to emulate and to offer reverence. It was in those early visits to Tellicherry in 1949 that I came into contact with Tara Devi, the present mother who had arrived from Mangalore. She was then a girl in her teens, quiet, unassuming, and with large, beautiful, indrawn eyes. Her face always lit up with a sweet smile of inner bliss. I was drawn to her from that moment of her first meeting. In her simplicity, serenity, and perfection, she was even then a soul apart, pure and chaste as a lily. Her heart was an ever tranquil lake, mirroring only one, her Guru, who was her God, the adorable deity. Later, Shri Bhagawan indicated to us that she was a perfect soul, come for Divine Mother's mission of human regeneration. One evening, Mother came to our room and explained many of the details of girl's awakening in her 13th year and her unique absorption in supreme transcendental state, and of her darshan and communions with Shri Krishna in that divine realms. Mother spoke of her towering faith and devotion which had no equal. Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage. Jai Mother.